She was an orphan, a refugee, an ethnic minority in an empire that was not hers, no father, no mother, no political connections, no inheritance. And yet, she became the most powerful woman in the greatest empire of the known world. The Persian Empire of Xerxes I ruled 127 provinces, from India to Ethiopia, more than 40 million people under a single scepter. And at the center of that power, Esther. Today you are going to discover the 6 concrete things this woman had, and that transformed an exile into a queen. This is not vague motivation. These are behaviors, strategies, decisions. Stay until the end, because number 4 is what separates women who approach power from women who truly wield it. The year is approximately 479 BC. The Achaemenid Persian Empire is the largest the world has seen up to that moment. The capital, Susa, today in Iran, was a city of marble, gold, and absolute power. King Xerxes I, the same who invaded Greece and was defeated at Salamis, ruled with irreversible decrees. A Persian law could not be revoked, not even by the king who created it. Into this scenario comes Esther, a Persian name for Hadassah, a Hebrew name meaning myrtle. A young Jewish woman from the Babylonian exile raised by her cousin Mordecai after the death of her parents. No title, no personal wealth, no guarantees whatsoever. What she did within that system was calculated, silent, and absolutely effective. Here are the 6 elements that made up her architecture. 1. She knew the value of strategic silence. When Esther enters the royal harem, she receives a direct instruction from Mordecai. Do not reveal your origin. Do not say that you are Jewish. The biblical text confirms she had not revealed which people she belonged to nor her family background, and she maintained that silence even after becoming queen. Even with power. Even with direct access to the king. That was not shame. It was situational intelligence. The Persian Empire had a rigid ethnic hierarchy. Persians at the top, conquered peoples below. Revealing she was Jewish, a people in exile, without territory, without an army, would have created an immediate obstacle. Esther mapped the environment before acting. She kept the information for the right moment. The alpha woman does not say everything she knows. She knows what is worth revealing, to whom and when. If you want to build your sovereignty, financial, professional, personal, subscribe to the channel and like this video. There is much more strategy like this coming. 2. She went through the process without shortcuts. The preparation process to present oneself before the king lasted 12 months. 6 months with oil of myrrh. 6 months with perfumes and cosmetics. This detail is in the original text, chapter 2, verse 12. It was not frivolity, it was the court protocol of the Persian Empire, a process that involved hygiene, body language, etiquette, presence. The women who entered that process came out fully trained to navigate the most competitive power environment of the ancient world. Esther did not complain about the process. She did not try to skip stages. She did not look for shortcuts. Historical curiosity. The oil of myrrh used in that process was one of the most expensive products in ancient trade. It was imported from Arabia and the Horn of Africa. A woman spending 6 months in treatment with myrrh represented an investment equivalent to years of wages for an ordinary worker. Esther received that investment, and she took it seriously. The alpha woman understands that the process is part of the product. You who are building a career, a brand, a life, do not rush stages. Let the process shape you. 3. She created favor in every environment. The text states precisely, Esther made a good impression on everyone who saw her. Not only the king, everyone. Haggai, the official in charge of the harem, favored Esther immediately. He gave her 7 maids from the palace, moved her to the best place in the harem, gave her special food, preferential treatment. This was not random. Haggai was a professional with decades of experience evaluating women for the royal court. He had seen hundreds before Esther. What did she have? Presence, emotional intelligence, the ability to adapt to the environment without losing her essence. She was chosen by the king among women from 127 provinces. And the text says the king favored Esther more than any other woman. That is not just physical beauty, that is positioning. It is the combination of how you show up, how you listen, how you make people around you feel. You need that too. The ability she had to create favor in any room she entered. That is built, it is not luck. 4. She asked only for what was right to ask. This is the behavior that separates those who approach power from those who exercise it. When it was Esther's turn to present herself to the king, she had the right to ask for anything from the harem to take with her. Jewelry, clothing, accessories. It was the protocol. The text says, she asked for nothing beyond what Haggai, the official in charge of the harem, suggested. She let the specialist guide her. She did not go with excess. She did not go with deficiency. She went with precision. Archaeological curiosity. Excavations in Persepolis and Susa revealed Persian administrative records that documented the provisions of the royal harem in meticulous detail. There was a complete bureaucratic system, daily rations, clothing allocations, entry and exit records. Navigating that system required a refined reading of the environment. Esther read the environment with accuracy. The high-value woman does not ask for too much, does not ask for too little. She researches, listens, measures, and asks with surgical precision. If you seek the mindset of a woman who does not ask for permission to prosper, but understands the exact force of her request, subscribe to the channel and like this video. 5. She acted in the face of real risk with a plan, not emotion. Here the story shifts scale. Haman, the prime minister of the empire, obtains from King Xerxes a decree to exterminate all Jews. The decree was sealed with the royal signet ring. Under Persian law, irreversible. Mordecai goes to Esther with the mission, intercede for the people. The problem? Approaching the king without being summoned was a crime punishable by death. Any man or woman who approaches the king in the inner court without being called will be executed. Literal text, chapter 4, verse 11. The exception was if the king extended the golden scepter. If he did not extend it, death. Esther had not been called by the king for more than 30 days. The risk was real, documented, with legal precedent. What does Esther do? She does not act on impulse, she does not act in panic, she builds a structure. First, 3 days of fasting, she and her maids. She asked the Jews of Susa to do the same. 3 days of mental, physical, and spiritual preparation before any move. Second, she goes before the king dressed in her royal robes. Total presence. The posture of a queen, not a supplicant. Third, when the king extends the scepter and asks what she wants, she does not make the request. She invites him to a banquet. Control of timing. She does not put everything on the table at the first moment of openness. She creates a second meeting, and a third. The alpha woman manages the timing of her moves, especially under pressure. 6. She knew what the power she had was for. Mordecai says to Esther a phrase that summarizes everything. Who knows whether you have come to the position of queen for such a time as this? Esther could have used the position of queen for her personal safety, for comfort, for social influence within the court. Instead, she used it as an instrument for a purpose greater than herself. The result was historic. The Jewish people were authorized to defend themselves. The decree of extermination could not be revoked, but a second decree gave the Jews the right to arm themselves and protect themselves. The attack was reversed. Haman was executed on the very gallows he had ordered to be built for Mordecai, a gallows over 20 meters high, a detail the text preserves with precision. To this day, the Jewish people celebrate Purim, a festival of deliverance, in direct memory of the events of the Book of Esther. It is one of the oldest and most documented festivals in Jewish history, recorded more than 2,400 years ago. That is legacy. One decision by a woman. In a moment of absolute risk, with the right structure. Esther had no external resources when she began. She had internal character, she had strategic silence, she knew what to keep. She had discipline for the process. She knew stages cannot be skipped, she had presence that generated favor. She knew how to show up, she had precision in requests, she knew exactly what to ask and how. She had emotional structure in the face of risk. She did not act on impulse, she had clarity of purpose, she knew what the position she held was for. None of these 6 elements is a birth gift. All are behaviors, all are trainable. Esther began as an orphaned exile in a foreign empire. She ended as the woman who saved an entire nation and entered the history of a civilization that survives to this day. You carry that within you as well. The determination she needed to walk into that throne room without certainty of leaving alive. That determination is available to you. The question is whether you will develop it with the same seriousness with which she developed it. The difference between a woman who admires Esther and a woman who acts like Esther is one thing: execution. But there is a detail in the story of Esther that almost no one mentions. The book of Esther is the only book in the entire Bible in which the name of God does not appear even once. Not once, in any verse. And yet, it is where providence is most visible. What does that mean for the woman who is building her life right now, without seeing results yet, without being able to see the next step? That is exactly what we are going to explore in the next video. Stay tuned.